find out. Yeah, we got air. This one, I think I loosened this one up already with the torque amplifier just to see how bad they were. Whoa, get something underneath my head here so I can see. There we go. It's a 24mm socket and a big honking air gun, air tool. I hope it's turned the right way. Yep, it is. Yeah, that's the one I loosened. Okay. Alright, so we got it loose, and the book says, the procedures say, not to take them out completely so it don't fall and stuff fall on you. So we're just going to loosen them up like this. And you said how you do it instead of using that special tool to pull them with. Looks like there's some hook points in here for a special puller or something. The book says there's some kind of puller you can use. You said just unscrew it and
take them all the way out.
Take them all the way out? Really?
Yeah, pull them off.
Okay, is this really heavy?
It's pretty heavy.
Okay. So be expected to...
it's not going to fall out until you start getting ready to screw
okay.
it out.
So let's get this out. Yeah, it looks like they're very long. And my hands are so slippery. Yeah, it's usually a messy job, huh?
Yeah.
Alright.
So I guess pulling the oil out working.
Yeah.
I see that ring you was talking about, man. I thought it was exposed.
Which one? Yeah, the tone wheel? Yeah. Yeah, you need to make sure that's tight. Because I always check that, yeah. Alright, so pull the bolt completely out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And what about this one? And
pull it all the way out.
alright, while I'm done doing that one, I'm just going to do that so that if it does drop down on my hand or something, it's not going to hit me in the chest. Just in case it does jump out. I don't expect it to, but...
Yeah, you don't see the numbers on them yet, do you?
And this is number one. But since we're going to do one at a time,
Right.
you know, normally you'd mark these, but I'm only going to do one at a time for safety and because we're not replacing my front crank seal, so
Right.
I want to protect that and just do one at a time. There it goes. Hey, that worked pretty good with two of them. So now we got it down. It weighs about 3 or 4 pounds, maybe 5 pounds, I don't know. 6 pounds. It's not terribly heavy. Easy. Whatever you do, you don't want to bang that thing. Alright, there's the lower bearing inside there. And let me show this on the video. Here's the lower bearing cap, or the cap for the lower bearing, or the crank bearing. There's an arrow that points forward right here on the very bottom. And also, when I turn it, I'm going to hold on to this. You can see that the notch, there's a notch here and a notch here. That notch is facing the rear of the motor on the lower bearing. So, don't put it in backwards. You can also see there's a notch cut into the cap on this side that matches that notch. So that's how the alignment is on the bearing. It's come out of it anyways. And then what does Jerry say to do? Use the lower one to push the upper one out. So I got that one out. And I can see the notch on this one is towards the front in the top. So I'm gonna, you're not gonna be able to push this notch part of it back around, right? I'm not gonna push it that way. I need to push it where the notch comes towards me, right? This notched area.
Right.
So use the old bearing to push it.
always take a little screwdriver to start it.
To start it? Yeah, it started, but the old bearing won't go up in there. So yeah, you're right. You need something thinner, just slightly thinner, to gently push it. Yeah, you can't quite get this out of here. Does it look good on the camera? Is the camera getting that real well?
Yeah.
You need to turn it a little bit.
You got that little crow's foot?
Yeah, I got the little crow's foot. Use the small one?
Well, you can use it just a minute, but take a screwdriver and bump it up.
Take a screwdriver and just bump it gently. Make sure it's clean.
Just to the end of it.
I'm going to do the bearing itself. I'm not going to really touch the
crank.
Yeah, the crank. You don't want to put a mark in the crank. Oh, that's just so easy to do.
Yeah, how far as you can go up in there.
That's just, yeah.
Get it good enough where you can grab that little tank.
No, I got it. It didn't take much.
Oh,
yeah, hold that.
You got lucky.
I got lucky, huh?
You got to take a crow's foot and pull it.
All right, this is the upper, first upper main bearing, and let's turn this over and take a look at it. Damn, it looks brand new. Girl, my friend, look at that. Look at that, 1,000,000 miles. Running a gallon of gear oil in my engine, every oil change. Feel that, and it still feels like the.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
All right, let's get a new. Should we just put it back in now?
Yeah.
Let's get a new bearing.
Let's get a rag and clean it up.
Yeah, let's get a new bearing. You want to
Clean up.
grab the.
You see the surface of the block? When you take a screwdriver or a scraper or something, does it got any stuff up there?
Where? Here?
On the mating surface.
On this surface up in here.
Yeah. You gotta get that cleaned up.
You gotta get that cleaned up.
You know what?
It's perfectly clean.
Yeah,
You just need to. You just need to gently just wipe the oil off.
You know
of it.
that stuff you put on there, the sealant, flange sealant.
Flange sealant. Yes, we need a flange
I don't
sealant.
see.
It's none on here from the factory. No, that's a new thing that they're doing as an update.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's why you don't have to clean it out.
But I don't have to clean this one because the engine's clean. The whole engine is perfectly clean. So let's be very careful with them. You need one upper and one lower. The upper has the hole in it. The lower does not have a hole in it. Hit it with brake cleaner, huh? Oh yeah, it's coming out the other side. Just like that, just wash it a little bit.
Just wash a little bit, just put a little bit of air just to dry the brake cleaner up.
Just to dry the brake cleaner now. Okay.
Just blast it, because then you get dust and everything else.
Good clean air. Yeah. Okay. What about this hole in the bearing? Should I blast air through that?
Yeah, then we got the rod catch loose.
Okay. The hole right here for the oiler. So make sure there's nothing in there. Turn it around. Again. Just keep this thing dry. Keep going. There we go. Just sort of get this. There we go. Make sure all the brake cleaner's out of it. Put a little bit of lube on it and slide it up in there.
Put a little lube on it.
And you use that engine assembly lube.
Use the lube.
You don't like using that Lubriplate 105 because it does what now?
It just leaves a gummy mess.
It leaves a gummy mess when it mixes with oil.
Right.
And that's not really great for it. So he swears by this Permatex Ultra Slick Engine Assembly Lube. It looks like item number 81950. Not trying to advertise for these.
It's good for startup.
Good for startup. You said this stuff stays on like maple syrup when everything else sort of just gets pushed and washed around, right?
Right.
So how much do I put on here? Just enough to wet it?
I just go like an S all the way around.
An S.
You know, back and two.
Okay. Oh, this stuff's pretty thin. It just pours.
It's thick and gummy.
Oh yeah, okay, it's gummy. Like this?
Yep.
Let me take a look. Yeah, I don't want to get too much.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much because now it's starting to pour through this hole. It wants to get on the back side. Now it's on the back side.
Take your rag and just dab it out toward the hole.
What did I do wrong here?
Just stay away from the hole.
Stay away from the hole. Well, I done messed that up.
That's alright.
I think I put way too much on. Look at this. Yeah, that's my problem. I put way too much on. Wow, that stuff is really sticky. It's slick though. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I put way too much on. There we go. My dumbass. Let's make sure we ain't got none on the back side. Here, let's get some brake cleaner on the rag here. There we go. Wipe the back side of it off.
I think it did have some of that sealant on it, Rob.
You did?
Yeah, because there's a little bit up here on this.
Alright, now I'm going to roll it back in. I'm going to push it back in. And I've got this notch on this side towards the front of the motor. So that's how it will end up being at final position. So I'm just going to go like this and gently slide it up in there. There we go. It's awful tight. Make sure I'm doing this right. It's getting awful tight there, Jerry. This is real tight. Yeah. I got it up in there. Wow, this stuff's leaving like a little stringy aftermath. You got that little tiny screwdriver? There it is. Just to kind of set the final position of it. Like this. There we go. That's it. It's nice and flush now.
There's a little bit of drag right there.
Okay, for what?
Just wipe your hands down.
Wipe my hands?
And run it up in.
Yeah.
See, I got the flange sealant on the edge.
Yeah. Let's record this.
Got it.
Get it really close. The camera's not going to see it unless it's really close.
You got the flange sealant on the edge.
So that's the anaerobic sealant,
Right.
flange sealant around the edge, like they show in the book. And then you got the sticky goo.
And the sticky goo.
You got the bearing in, and you hold it. Now, what did you say about hold it with one bolt?
Just hold it with one bolt.
Okay.
So it's got
Got oil on it.
Got oil. Got an arrow pointing toward the front.
Arrow pointing towards the front.
All on the threads. And
A little bit on the head. Okay, on each one.
But you can't hold it with two hands. So always just lay one bolt down, and then put it up and start the one bolt. When
Okay.
you start it, then you start the other bolt.
Okay.
And
All right, let me get the light back pointing towards me here. This way. So start the bolt.
always just start the bolt. That way it secures it.
Okay. Start the bolt with your fingers, like this. Okay.
Get like 2 or 3 turns on the way you know.
Yeah, you know it's not gonna come off.
Well, that and you ain't got it cross-threaded.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
All right, here's your next bolt.
Very easily. I'm gonna hold this up here like this, and you got oil on the threads of that, and a little tiny bit of that stuff on the head. And we're gonna start this one, and just sort of get real nice and gentle like. All right, now what?
Take your little plastic hammer
Okay.
and kind of just tap it up in there to kind of wedge a little bit.
Where's my plastic hammer at? And just
Just kind of just tap
get it started.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, it's going up in there.
Yep. You kind of hear it.
Yeah, it's sort of, yep, it stopped.
Okay. So run your bolts on up in there.
Okay. And that'll take a little bit. Cut.
So this is the thrust washer bearing and thrust washer main cap. And what I always do, I always take a little bit of the semi-lube and put a little dot on each side. That's to kind of hold it in place.
You need to show the anaerobic sealer too.
Okay. And so that way, if you do it like that, it kind of hydraulic it on there. But then when you get ready to put it up in there, you just grab it like this and put it up in there to hold it. Once you get it started on the main the thrust in between the crank will actually take over with the journals and they keep it in place. If not, you see it'll fall off. You don't want that thing falling off, hitting you in the head. So at this point, we took emery cloth, or I take a Scotch-Brite pad and just kind of scuff up corners of that, and then we'll take and put some of the sealant flange on the corners. Just put this a little line, and a little line.
And that's as per the book, right? They say you put that sealant
Right.
flange and all that. That's new.
It's as per book.
Yeah, they didn't used to do that on things.
One. With a line. Then I just take this here and just kind of go like a little S. And when you push it up in there, it'll smush it, the excess out and around. And on the bolt heads, I just take a little bit like that, a little like that, and just take your finger, do like that, and do like that. And just take a little bit of clean engine oil, put on the threads, just take my finger and you don't want to put a whole lot like that. Just take a rag, just kind of dampen it off a little bit. You just kind of want to just lubricate them just a little bit. And that's it. It's ready for installation.
You recording?
Yes.
All right, so this does go a certain way, right?
Right.
Okay, so there's a stamping on here, and I would imagine the stamping doesn't go against the crank bearing or crank throw that's going to keep going round, round, round. And also there's a bevel on this side and the opposite side. So this is going to sit in here like this or like this. So if it was like this, it would be this side. If it was this, it would be this side. And if I put it in like that, then the numbers are going to be up against the flange, the block, and the bevel side would be against the crank. If I accidentally put it in like this, then that means the numbers would be on the crank. That means that's backwards. So it goes like this. So basically the beveled side, you touch the crank with it, and that leg right there matches that leg up in the housing. So you don't want the stamped side to be touching the crank, right? Yeah. So that's how it goes. And then I need to put a little bit of that assembly lube. I'll put some of it on my finger, and then I'll do that. All right, and we'll get to do that with a finger a couple times. Just put it around the one side there, like this, all along this, and then we'll put a little more. There we go. A little finger drop there.
Biggest thing is on this truck here, you have to push the clutch in for it to start, so it's going to pull the whole crank backwards. So
Right.
you don't want no dry start.
You don't want it to dry start, yeah. So we're going to do that. But you said another very important thing is don't install these before you install the upper main bearing. You install the upper main bearing very first after you've cleaned all this and you flushed it with brake cleaner and everything. Because if you put these in first, you can get this assembly lube in between the main bearing and the main housing. So you don't want that. You want that to be dry. So the best thing to do is put the main bearing in first and then put these in next. So I understand that. So this has got to go up against here. And it goes like this. Okay, so it's going to sit, it's going to be the top one, so it's going to sit like this. So it goes like this. Okay, so we're going to roll that in, and we're just going to move it around like this and push it right up in there. right up in that edge. Just like this. Right up in there where it goes. This isn't easy. It's a tiny little space up there. It doesn't want to start there, Jerry.
Okay. Where's your little crow's foot? We'll slide the crank backwards.
Yeah, it doesn't want to start.
Yeah. Where's your little crow's foot?
Should we do the other one first?
Yeah, you can do the other one first if you want to.
Or do you think it's hitting the? You think it's hitting the main bearing? I can't
The
remember.
main bearing, you should have. I keep thinking.
It might be hitting the main bearing. I think I'm going to have to take that little screwdriver and get this.
What this little crow's foot?
No,
I think the
sliding
main
behind the
bearing.
main.
I think the main bearing is just sticking out a little bit there in that corner. There we go. Yep, I felt it. It was blocking it, so it was a little offset there. That main bearing. You got it. All right. This main bearing wants to spin out of here too, little baby. See that? All right. I'll let you do it. Am I just not holding my mouth right?
No, we just got to slide the crank forward a little bit.
You have to slide the crank forward a little bit. I'll
So if
say.
you just
Okay.
grab something right here between this main cap here.
All right. I got this
slide
crow's
forward.
foot. Oh wow! I see. Wow, that moves a lot.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
See, that's what I was missing.
There we go.
Missing a piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and then push it back, and then move it and get it seated. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you center it up,
Yeah, that's what.
and then what about the main bearing? You center that up too, right?
The main bearing's got a tab right there, right?
Oh, okay. What about the other end though?
This end here.
Oh, okay. The other end. Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it there.
Okay. Cool.
Then we just slide this other one in.
So yeah, it's got that little tab,
Mm-hmm.
and then we evened it up on
Right.
both sides, and we slid that in, and now we're gonna push the crank that way a little bit, give space, and put the other one in.
Right. They just push it backwards, so we're ready for the next one. We got the next one over here.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're gonna go.
No,
No, we're gonna go to the back.
Yeah,
That way, yeah.
it should be all the way back. You push
Yeah.
it back.
Okay. Yeah.
So this one here should start easy.
That way, towards the crank.
Right.
That way, the bevel side touching the crank,
Mm-hmm.
and then slide it in, like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And try to get it up in there, and without dropping it. That's kind of hard to see. Oh yeah, it just goes right up in there when you take the space the right way. Cool.
The weight of the crank may have slid back.
Yeah, it probably did.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've centered it already.
Mhm.
So you want to push the crank that way a little bit just to kind of hold it. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Oh, perfect. You might want to put it back that way a
Yeah,
little bit.
put it back
It kind
that
of
way.
jumped up. It
Just
jumped up, yeah. You think we should wiggle it back and forth
Right,
a little bit
find
because
the center.
yeah, one of them jumped up a tiny bit. So find the center. Just sort of work it back and forth, and then yeah, there you go. And you're showing that on the video. Yeah,
no, barely move that.
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, just find the center between the two. You push it all the way that way, and then push it all the way that way, and then just find the center. Whoa. All right, now push it all the way the other way. All right, and just sort of bounce it to get in the middle.
All right.
Right about there.
All right. You ready for the main cap?
Ready for main cap. And this one we got to hold all that together
Right.
and put it all in at once. Oh my God, this thing's, it's not real heavy, but it's really hard to hold all this stuff together.
It's awkward.
It's awkward. I'm gonna have to get my hand in here like this and around to get it up. I don't want to bang anything and get dust on it. Oh wow. Whew. It's not an easy job, this one. Trying to hold it all together in one piece. Yeah. And the arrow's towards the front. And I'm gonna go ahead and slide this up to try to hold it together a little bit while I start the screw. Come on. Alright. And that's it right there, right? Let me have the
hammer.
A little tappity tap. Yeah, I can feel it going up. Alright, now the other screw.
Like a surgical process here.
Yeah. Upside down surgical process. Yeah. It's a good thing we set this truck up on blocks, otherwise our fat butts couldn't get under here, right?
Oh yeah.
Alright, and we're gonna just snug it up with my little gun here and cheat a little bit. Just get it started. And should I rotate the crank or relieve stress or anything before I start locking this down?
I'd lock it down and then, well,
okay.
Yeah, let's rock it back to just set it up in the thrust point.
Yeah, just to make sure we've got it centered. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Right. But we don't want to do that too much because we'll roll the bearings, right?
Right.
We'll end up spinning the bearings out of it, and that wouldn't be good. You want to turn it back the other way a little bit?
Okay.
Back to the clockwise when you're looking at it?
Clockwise?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Just to make sure that bearing is still sitting where it should be. Alright, and we'll back them off. And we'll torque them. That seated it. Now we'll back it off. And we will torque it properly. Alright, let's get a torque wrench on it. A big torque wrench.
I got it. Give me a second.
Alright, a little bit on each side. This is certainly a lot better with two people. Even better with three. Somebody hand you parts, alright? Alright. Okay, now we'll make our arrows and we'll tighten it down with a big gun and go to the next one. Cut.